I think a lot of people forget, especially if you've never played a Street Fighter game before, especially if you've never played a fighting game before, they're going to jump into Street Fighter 6. They're going to be like, I picked a character. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting beat up. Or, XRD has its beta at the end of the month. And for a lot of people, XRD is a new game. If you played older titles, there's probably a lot of stuff that will carry over that'll help you. If you played any other fighting game, there's a lot of legacy skill that will carry over. You already know how to block and move and hit your buttons and all that kind of stuff. But the big thing that I recommend when learning a new game, we all do the same kind of steps, which is, you pick a character that looks cool. Whether it's in like a single player mode, whether it's in training mode, you should try out a few characters unless you know like this is the character I'm going to play 100%. And my advice is do not spend too long fussing over trying to learn everything about this character, okay? When it's the first day of a game, there's only so much your brain can soak in. Try to figure out their buttons, learn some like very basic combos like medium into light into special move. Light special move. Something just real simple gets you by. And then my advice is just go play matches. If you don't like go play people, it's really hard to figure out how you like the character, right? Whether they feel good when they're moving around the screen, whether they feel good to hit their attacks or buttons. A lot of times too, you'll like try some stuff and be like, ooh, this seems like it might be good. I'm going to try this, and you go do it and it's like not that good. Or it's even better than you thought. After you play also, don't be afraid to just go back and try some stuff. You go online, you're playing some matches, and you realize like, oh shit, I didn't learn an anti-air. Just go back in training mode and then try to figure out an anti-air, right? You're trying to figure out how to use your supers, and you're like, what do I combo them from? What do I combo into? Can I cancel my special into a super? Like, what do I do? If you have all this meter every match and you're just sitting on it, go and learn that. If you realize that you're spending too much meter, that's something that you can try to fix. But just jump in there and understand that in the beginning, you're going to just be mashing and trying to figure stuff out. And especially in a brand new game, there is not going to be that much information out about what you should be doing, right? And if there is, it will very quickly become outdated because the game will evolve past that kind of stuff. Because nobody knows what's happening. Everybody's just mashing. And every match you will do and see new things. You'll be like, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know this character had that move. And I didn't know that move went into this move and that move. And it's like, it feels great. It's so fun in the beginning. So don't worry too much about spending tons of time like trying to be perfect and do this and that. Just understand that the beginning is when everybody is brand new and nobody knows the right thing to do yet either. It's always like that. The beginning is always like shiny and fun and undiscovered. In the case of learning XRD, it's not like it just came out and it's a beta and the game's not even released yet, like Street Fighter 6, where everything could change and everything's different. This is only a new video game to a subset of people. And for those kinds of games, when you get into them later, which I've done a lot on my channel, I've gone and played a lot of games that have been out for years and years and years. When you jump in, I recommend doing the same thing in the beginning. But the most important thing is there are more resources to help you. Years of footage of people playing these characters at a high level, people showing you how to do the combos to the character, people showing you tech and setups and all kinds of stuff. There's just tons of information everywhere. I do recommend the same idea of like trying a character, seeing if they're fun, playing them in a match, moving around with them and stuff, trying to find some other beginners to play because lots of people online will be beginners. You'll probably run into experienced players and they're going to beat you up, but that's okay. They've been playing the game for a long time. You don't have to worry about sticking to your character right away. If you find somebody else that you like more than your character, it's totally fine. And just because you played a character in Strive or Plus R doesn't mean you have to play it in this game. I wouldn't worry too much about picking a character that's too hard or whatever. I would just pick a character that you think is cool, because trying to pick a character that's easy sets you up for failure. If you pick an easy character and then you're not doing well, you get in your own head and you're like, dude, how am I losing with the easy character? At some point, you'll play against someone who's better than you. And even if you're playing the easy character, you'll lose or something, or the matches won't go well. And you'll be like, damn, this sucks. That game difficulty level is the same for everybody. And if people have more experience than you and they're more experienced fighting game players, then they're going to be doing well, right? A great example of this kind of ideology in reverse, actually, is I remember when Leffen was learning XRD, he wanted to learn Johnny, and Johnny is really hard, right? Even though Johnny's not an easy character, he's supposed to be really strong. And then when he was playing online, people were like, how are you losing with Johnny? Like, you're playing Johnny, this character is so good. Obviously, when you're new to the game and you've never played, you could pick the best character in the game and be fighting the worst character in the game and lose because your opponent is more skilled. The character strength doesn't matter if you don't even remember what your buttons do. And Street Fighter 6 is going to be that way too. You're going to be fighting someone who's going to be picking Ryu color 1. Their name is going to be like Dawn 73 or something, right? And every time you jump, he's going to anti-air you and he's going to be throwing fireballs. And you're like, dude, I don't understand. How is Dawn 73 so good? Dawn was born in 1973. He has been playing Street Fighter since it came out. This guy's grandkids are good at Street Fighter. Like, yeah, he's, you know, you're going to have a slight disadvantage. Give it a little bit of time. And these old men they're weak to time. You know, you just let the game come out for like a month and then you'll beat his ass, right? Most old men only know the gimmicks. They're whiffing Tatsus into DPs and shit. And like, they're doing their old men strats. They always have them. Yeah, if they get knockdown pressure and they just like back up to throw a fireball, that motherfucker's ancient. If you look at his fireball, you can count the rings around it and that shit'll just be like, ooh, this motherfucker's old. You just gotta lame him out. The longer the match goes, the more that arthritis kicks in. You got this. Listen. The adaptive 09ers. 09ers had to live through Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 being dreadful and having to play every game, then coming back to Street Fighter 5 and accepting it for what it is. Like, you know, how most stories are. Now getting to play a new game that looks like it's quite good. What a horrible fate. You know, for them, Moste, it probably was. For me, I was just vibing. It's funny because it didn't ever occur to me when I played a lot of other games that it would be bad to play all these other games. Not bad, but like people didn't do it. And I was just so confused by that for so long.